Hey, you all. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great 2 weeks off. You're well rested and ready to begin week 18. So, for Meaningful Monday, for your ELA morning work, you're going to be reading about New Year's, both the Chinese New Year's and the New Year's here in the United States in New York City. So, for the first one, the first word that you're going to be finding meaning for is misfortune. And misfortune has the prefix mis, M-I-S, in front of fortune, which changes the meaning of fortune. So once you've read those couple sentences, you're going to decide which one of these definitions is correct, A, B, C, or D, and put it here in the text box. For synonyms and antonyms, remember synonyms mean the same or nearly the same. Antonyms mean the opposite. So you're going to put an S if it's a synonym and A if it's an antonym. Then you're going to be reading a paragraph about New Year's Eve in New York City. You're going to figure out the meaning of the word composed. Make sure you're paying close attention to how it's used in the text because that word has multiple meanings. Once you've decided which one is correct, A, B, C, or D, you're going to put it in the text box. For Multiplication Monday, you're going to be using multiplication to find the answer to all of these problems. I've set them up so that way you're only doing multiplication, even though a few of them or a couple of them use division. Since we haven't done a whole of division yet, I wanted to make sure it wasn't too much. So in the first box, it talks about how in some countries people eat 12 grapes right before midnight on New Year's Eve. And there are 5 people at the party. So how many grapes does the host need to have for all 5 people to get 12 grapes? So your factors are 5 and 12, and you're trying to find the product or the answer to the multiplication problem. Remember, on a piece of paper, you can use equal groups. You can do repeated addition. You can make an array. Below that, here where it talks about Italy, many families eat lentils on New Year's Day. This woman has 25 total ounces of lentils. So in multiplication, that would be the product or the answer. And she needs 5 ounces for each batch or one batch. So if one batch is 5 ounces, we need to figure out how many batches she can make because she has 25 ounces or with those 25 ounces. So in order to make this division word problem into a multiplication sentence, I left a blank. That's what you're going to be solving for. So 5 times what equals 25? So just like you did in the previous equation, you can skip count, you can do repeated addition, you can draw an array. You can start with one row of 5 and keep making rows of 5 until you have 25 total dots or stars or whatever you like to make arrays with. But you're looking for this missing number, 5 times what equals 25. And then you're going to put that missing number here because that is what we're talking about. That many, or no, sorry, not ounces. Typo. It says be batches. Okay. Over here, true or false, 5 times 2 is the same as 40 divided by 4. Once again, because we haven't done a lot with division, I went ahead and told you that 40 divided by 4 is 10. I know that because 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 10 added together 4 times is 40. Now you have to determine what 5 times 2 equals to decide whether this equation is true or false. If the product of 5 times 2 is 10, then this equation is true. If the product or the answer for 5 times 2 is not 10, then it is false. Okay, for reading this week, you are going to be making a prediction of who you think is the most famous bear. So think about childhood cartoons. Think about a bear you saw at the zoo. Think about safety. Is there a bear that you have heard about before that you think a lot of other people have heard about? And if so, you're going to write the name of that bear here on the teddy bear's stomach. Then you're going to go to the next slide and you're going to click on this red carpet and then the YouTube link connected to it. And that is going to bring you to a short clip introducing you to the most famous bear in the world. After you've watched that short clip, you're going to write down the name of the famous bear and then tell me whether your prediction was correct. So you can say, yes, my prediction was correct, or no, my prediction was incorrect. It doesn't matter either way because a prediction is just a prediction. It's just what you thought. Just something fun. The next slide, you're going to listen to our book for the week, which is here on the top right-hand corner. And you're going to write down at least 2 questions. One while you were listening to the book, so during reading, and one after reading. So have a piece of paper or something handy. That way, while you're listening to the story, when a question pops in your head, you can write it down. Remember how questions start. Who, what, when, where, why, how. Think about those words when you're trying to formulate a question. And remember that your question ends with a question mark. And then over here to the left, talks about why asking questions is important. It activates prior knowledge. So when you question things, it brings up schema about what you already know. So if you know anything about this bear already, then what you learn in the book about the bear will easily connect to what you already know, and you'll retain it better. You'll remember it better. It's how you become more curious and how you find out more information. It's how you understand sequence of events and information. You question things, and that means you're really paying attention. And it's how you make predictions of what might happen. So it's really important to question, especially while reading. And then your last thing is answering these 8 questions. You are going to drag the purple circle to circle the correct answer, A, B, C, or D, except for 8, which is just A or B because it's true or false. And that is everything you are doing for reading today. So I hope you have a great Monday and are happy to see you again.